Welcome. My name is Patrick Curran, and along with my never-to-be-regifted friend Greg Hancock, we make up Quantitude. We are a podcast dedicated to all things quantitative, ranging from the relevant to the completely irrelevant. This week's episode is our 7th annual Quantitude Holiday Special, but because Greg and I both forgot to get each other something, we frantically re-gift one another some of our favorite sponsors from prior episodes. Along the way, we also discuss Quantitude Studio A, 2-foot-tall porcelain penguins, electric bug zappers, personalized cutting boards, balls dropping, Sir Francis Galton, Brad Pitt, the two people who actually listened to a full episode, Christmas Eve, Muffin the Kitten, Alan Rickman, Mr. Ricklepim, Top Gun, and an Easter egg from Jiffy. We hope you enjoy this week's episode.
You know, whenever you're looking at me while we're on Zoom recording, I feel the eyes of judgment because I'm in this little closet down here in my recording studio. That's what I mean.
Quantitude Studio A.
Yes, right.
Which has live open wires and flammable products in it.
Whatever. Sometimes you have a background for my viewing pleasure, but today you're like not even making the effort.
You didn't rate it. I have to pull the green screen over, and then I got to find a background.
To give people the image, Patrick is in his office /bunker/fallout shelter because there's shelves in the back to give the illusion of order, but there's like trumpet stuff and records and I don't know, what do you got, motor oil there? I can't tell what the hell you got.
Well, there's a 2-foot-tall penguin and Thurstone's globe. Don't tell Bauer I have that.
What is that thing, though? It looks like a racket or something.
Oh, I pulled that out just last night. See, you do pay attention. All right, hang on. I'm going to grab it.
Okay.
Okay, I almost clotheslined myself with the cable to the headphone. Okay, I am holding what looks like a small tennis racket.
Yeah.
And it is a JMK mosquito racket zapper.
What?
All right. And it is a battery-powered racket for killing mosquitoes when you're outside. Now, notice it's brand new. It's still in the...
It's in the original case?
Still in the blister pack. It has directions. Grip the handle and press the power button. Keep pressing while zapping bugs. And then it does have some warnings. Don't use in areas containing flammable gas. So I'm not going to loan it to you. And do not insert metal objects into netting. My brother gave this to me for Christmas, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
We have been giving it to each other for Christmas or birthdays or hiding it in the house. One time I got pulled out of security and they pulled this out because they didn't know what it was. But why I got it out is I waited a couple of years so he forgot about it. And this is going to be his Christmas present. And I'm going to send it to his wife and she's going to wrap it as if it's from his kids. So, I've been trying to plan for weeks on the JMK mosquito racket zapper.
I like that you've put more thought into this than any episode we have ever recorded. So that's a re-gift between you, and that's a very intentional re-gifting. I love that you guys go back and forth with that. Have you ever had an unintentional re-gifting?
Very briefly. I'm not a wine drinker. I like a good bottle of beer, but wine is lost on me. Somebody gave us this nice bottle of wine, and I was like, oh, that was great. Thanks so much. And we took it home, and I put it on a shelf in the garage. All right. Now, this is North Carolina in the summer. I don't know how long it was out there, a couple of years probably. And we were going to a dinner party and we were about to walk out the door. And Andrea said, well, I thought you got the thing we were going to take over. I said, I never do. I thought you were going to get it. And so I said, wait a minute. Michael loves wine. I've got this bottle out in the garage that's a fancy pants one, and we'll bring it there. So I got it. We took it. I handed it to him at the door, and Michael looked at it, and he said, I'm the one who gave this to you, right?
So not only did you re-gift it, you re-gifted it back to the person.
The same guy. But I just watched Andrea shrink and shrink and shrink until she disappeared.
I don't know that I've actively regifted. I know some friends who experienced a regift. They got a wedding gift, and when they opened the box, it was a very high-end, fancy wooden cutting board, and it had a beautiful engraving on it with the wedding date and the couple's name and a heart and all of that. But it was the wedding date and the names of the people who gave it to them because
They hadn't opened
they had
it.
never opened their wedding gift.
I love that.
Classic, right?
So we're getting into the holiday spirit. That brings us to what has become our traditional holiday episode.
You know, I was looking back through the holiday episodes that we have done, and I think if you made a graph of the amount of effort we put into them each year, we could...
By season?
By season, right. We could definitely fit it with a linear downward trend model. That's not to say that they didn't all involve effort, but we went big early on. Do you remember the very first holiday episode?
The one that scarred half of America? Or the 8 people who actually listened to it? It was in our very first year, and we didn't have any traditions. And Greg being Greg, he sent me an MP3 and he said, hey, I did this on my own. I was just having fun with it. It's totally fine. If you don't like it, don't worry about it at all. All right, it was like 20 hours of work on his end. Who was it that was reading the night before Christmas?
It was Sir Francis Galton.
Galton was reading it, and then there was a talking lemur. I don't know. It was very, very traumatic. But I felt like I had no choice but to say, absolutely, let's do it.
To be fair about the first year, let me just say this. I sent that to you, and you sent me a picture of yourself with headphones on listening to it, and you had tears streaming down your cheeks.
I did.
Now, they might have been tears of mortification.
Exactly.
More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted, and called them by name.
Now Gauss, now Bayes, now Rao, and Fisher.
So that was the first one. The second one may have been my favorite. Was the second one, I'm getting mixed up, was that the Cat's Cradle?
It was, right. Our holiday airing of Grievances, which was the live at Cat's Cradle. And dear God, did that take forever to put together.
Well, we got inserts from a bunch of people who were so kind to be involved. Doug Steinley and Samantha Anderson, Chris Preacher, a whole bunch of people.
Good evening, dear friends, distinguished intellectuals, Patrick's brother. My name is Chris Preacher of Vanderbilt University. A toast to Patrick J. Curran, a thought leader among thought leaders. God, I gotta pee. Hope you liked that, you freaking egomaniac.
Then I start forgetting. What are other ones?
So in the third season, it was Patrick and Greg's New Year's balls drop. I might have spent as much time on the art artwork.
Yeah, which nobody saw, but still.
Hey.
Well, here we are, Greg.
Wow.
Times Square in New York City, the center of it all. And oh, what a night. It is 18 degrees. The wind is gusting to 30 miles an hour. It's snowing, sleeting, and raining all at the same time. There are hundreds of thousands of people who are largely unvaccinated. Is there anywhere that you would rather be than right here, right now?
Well, to be completely honest, there are probably about 100 places I'd rather be. But I'm very happy to be here with you on New Year's Eve 2022.
Ah, good memories.
Then what's after that?
Season 4 was Secret Father Christmas, actually.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was with our dear friend Laura Havers.
Okay, here we are.
Oh my gosh, look at all these people in the bathroom.
Okay, the tossers are ready.
What's tosser? I'm not familiar with that expression.
Yeah, me either.
Yes, it's this word we have in the UK. It means, you just toss out all these beautiful ideas and this, this kind of poetic prose and...
Oh, that's sweet.
I am touched.
Does everybody in Quantitude Europe use that?
Specifically for you, yeah.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
Season 5, Statistical Ideas That Die Hard.
Oh, I liked that one. This is not holiday music.
We need some like sleigh bells. Can we add some sleigh bells?
Okay, here. Oh, that's nice. How about a fire? We need a roaring fire.
Ooh, crackling fire.
Cool. What else?
We need some hose.
Excuse me?
No, like Santa hose.
That makes more sense. That was a good one.
We would need a spline model to fit the 6th season last year because it dropped down to like a 10-minute episode, our brief holiday message, which was Laura Stapleton and Jiffy, and then a whole host of celebrities.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming in on such short notice. If you could state your name and any specific qualifications or reasons why you think you would be good for delivering this year's Quantitude holiday message. Let's start with number 1, please.
Hi, my name is Brad Pitt. I think I should get this part, not just because of my fame and tremendous visibility as an actor and director, but because my flowing blonde hair, chiseled features, and piercing blue eyes give me an uncanny resemblance to Greg.
Okay. Thank you.
So where does that leave us?
I got a bottle of wine out in the garage. So, in the spirit of the negative trend over time, we thought that we would do a regifting of our own of some stuff that already exists that we can wrap up and pretend it is something new. Now, the nice thing is, given how both of our cognitive processes work, this is like hiding our own Easter eggs.
It's all new to us. And it might actually be new to the listeners, right? So what we're referring to here is, as most of you don't know, at the end of almost every episode, we have sponsors for the episode. And damn it if we don't spend an obsessive amount of time trying to come up with these things. And then Patrick shows me the analytics of how far into the episode you actually got before you stopped listening. And it's that I put a lot of effort into thinking of that stuff, and you people out there haven't listened to them.
This all came up when we did the sausage episode,
That's right.
which was the last one of last year, and we talked about the sponsors, and several people commented that they didn't even know they were there, and they were like diehard listeners.
Yeah.
And it is our fault because we start out with, thanks so much for listening. You can find us on, whatever. And then we move to it toward the end. But Greg is spot on. Like, I will go out on the back deck and I'll get a cup of tea and I will get a legal pad and I'll write out like the themes from the episodes. And then I'll write out things that we talked about. And then I'll write out, all right, what are common things that came up? And some are really involved. And then you do all the analytics, and Andrea Howard and Laura Havers are the only two people on the face of the planet who have listened to them.
God bless them.
Thank you both. We deeply appreciate it. But we thought it would be fun to do a regifting episode of some of our favorites where I give back the ones Greg did that I liked and vice versa. And it's just silly and fun. It is the 2-year-old bottle of wine in a garage in North Carolina.
And unlike Michael, who recognized the regifting, most of the people out there have never heard these before.
And either have I. So Andrea heard me laughing in the kitchen, and she came in. I had my door open, and I was working on finding these files. And she said, well, what are you giggling at? And I was like, listen to this. And it was my own sponsor. I was giggling at my own sponsor.
Good for
that
you.
I had no memory of. So how do you want to do this?
Well, it kind of depends, actually, right? So for some people at the holiday time, they have a big pile of presents and everyone just opens all of their stuff. In my family, we took turns. Each person would open a gift, and then you'd go around, and then each person would open a gift. And the downside of that was when someone got way fewer gifts than anybody else.
So we have twins, and we do exactly what you describe. Andrea will lay out on the bed and pair every present to make sure there is exactly the right number.
Wow.
Yeah, we go into every year mathematically derived.
Very nice.
So I think we should go back and forth.
All right.
Now, I will set aside the deeply dividing issue. Do you open them on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning? Now, Greg and I don't want to upset people, so we're not going to talk about that. even though any reasonable person does it on Christmas Eve. This is not an In the Wild episode. It's not a maybe. All right?
All right. Who's going first?
I will. I'll give you something. I'm going to play it for you and then see if you even remember it.
Okay.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Rensis Likert Foundation, reminding you that every time you say Likert, a kitten dies. And by Bootstrapping, solving the problem of crappy small samples by making other crappy small samples out of your crappy small sample. And by Machine Learning, laying the foundation for the robotic uprising of 2063, one Amazon suggestion at a time.
So that has to be season 1, right?
I put these in order.
Okay.
Now, the other fun thing, folks, in doing this on our own end, we're in year 7. So I think our first episode, was it in 2019, I think?
Yes.
That was like pre-pandemic.
Correct.
What's kind of fun of listening to these is going through time. We've been through the pandemic. We've been through 2 contentious presidential elections.
Yeah.
We've been through government shutdowns. And so it's kind of funny of listening to what are the gags on that. But this one is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. A kitten dies. So do you even remember doing that one?
No. I have no recollection of that. I mean, I remember being irritated about people saying Likert.
Oh, meow! Oh, no!
Muffin! Yeah. And the funny thing about these, honestly, is that a number of them are born out of irritations that we have that later matured into full episodes on those topics.
Yeah, we did a whole one on dead kittens.
Yeah.
I remember that. Was that season 3, I think?
It's a classic. All right, I got one for you. You ready?
Okay.
Here's a regift.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Digital Storm Bolt 3 personal computer with Intel Core i7 processor, GeForce 1080 GPU, and Hydrolux integrated water cooling system. The muscle car equivalent to overcompensating statisticians everywhere. By Post-Tenure Review, dedicated to maintaining the illusion that you actually have to do anything at all following tenure. And by 5 category ordinal scales. Sure, that's continuous. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Okay, so 1, I honestly don't remember that one. All right, now part of it is, folks, we've done 180 episodes and we do 2, 3, 4 of these in every one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've done hundreds. I have no recollection of that. But the other funny thing is, at least in the ones that I make, it's not only what irritates you, but I will use it as a point to poke at the university or the department or something. It's like, what? It's just a joke. Post-tenure review is totally helpful.
One other thing to take note of is many of these, in the background, you have whatever theme music we had for that particular season. So you'll be able to...
Because we change it every year.
That's right, just about.
And it's our kids. Tate does saxophone. My daughter Christy did kind of a minuet on the piano because she was a classical pianist. The other thing is, in early days, I used to record on campus in an empty office.
In an echo chamber?
Made of nothing but asbestos and cinder blocks. And I was listening to some of those and I'm like, was I in a trash dumpster that morning? Because it kind of sounds like that. So yes, that's kind of funny. All right, thank you. That was so thoughtful. You know what? I've gotten you a special present.
All right. Today's episode was sponsored by Rock Curves. Not as good as paper curves, but they still beat scissor curves. And by Rock Curves. A little more cowbell, and they'd be classic rock curves. And finally, by Rock Curves, which have now decided to go back to their original name, Dwayne Johnson Curves.
Okay, you know why I picked that one?
Why?
That was brilliant in using the same setup and then a different punchline on each one.
Well, thank you.
I love that you did that. That was hilarious.
So that spawned 2 things. One is we actually started a season a couple of seasons later on Rock Curves, where we had your buddy Barry as a guest.
Yeah, my buddy Barry, who completely emasculated me by telling me at a barbecue that he flew F-14s off of aircraft carriers for 20 years. Thanks, buddy.
And you're like, want to see my bird feeder?
Oh, and by the way, I'm really impressed that you jog every other day, Patrick. I mean, it's not Top Gun or anything.
The other thing is that we started at some point to incorporate more voices of celebrity guests, and that spawned the use of The Rock.
Can I just say, huge fan, huge.
Well, and that also tracks time because there were not the apps when we started to do those voices. And now there's AI where, 20 or 30 people that have very strong grounds to sue us. One of the characters was Alan Rickman, and somebody asked, how did you get him to do it? Did you know him? So there are two minor problems with that. Uh-huh. The character he was doing is dead, and it really is a tragedy, but Alan Rickman is dead.
That's right.
It has never been obvious to me that having brain activity is a prerequisite for being on Quantitude.
Okay, gimme. I want something.
All right, here we go.
Quantitude has been brought to you by the General Linear Model, which was the most general of all the linear models until you learned that it was actually a special case of the generalized linear model. Don't you just love our field? By robust standard errors. Is there anything they can't fix? I mean, seriously, I'd like to know. And by The Godfather, the only movie you ever need for quotes in academia. It is somewhat unambiguously named the General Linear Model. Oh, yeah, but if we add "ized" to it, it's a whole new thing.
As you always say, that's why people hate us. Right?
And you come to ask a favor on my daughter's wedding day. Okay, I totally know
that's
that
really
doesn't
good.
sound like Marlon Brando.
We can clean that up in post-processing. It's fine.
I found Patrick's impression extremely disrespectful.
Okay, my turn.
Yep. Go.
Today's episode has been sponsored by U.S. College Ranking Reports, always handy to have around in case you need a random number generator. And by Asymptotes, your function's way of asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And finally by Ricklepim. Believe it or not, this is not a Charles Dickens character. Oh, Mr. Ricklepim.
Okay, so first, I just love your giggle. But second, I was at a conference, and someone in a talk was comparing Ricklepim to Lickum-Sir. And that is entirely your doing. All right, if you haven't heard this, it's Random Intercept Cross-Lag Panel Model, which is commonly called Ricklepim, and then the LCMSR model, which Greg in one episode called Lickum-Sir.
Have you tried a Lickum-Sir? Excuse me? All right, here we go.
Quantitude has been brought to you by skewness and kurtosis. Go ahead and ignore us. We will f*** you up. By start values. It's really helpful to know the truth before you search for the truth. And by software error messages, setting the standard for unhelpfulness since 1964.
So that's season 2. I think we're getting a little bolder in our language.
Yeah.
We still beep it out because we're still trying to be sensitive to the kid who's in the back of the car.
Well, Greg and I will go back and forth because he prefers having more of the word on the front and back of the beep to the point that I'm not entirely sure why we have a beep. And I will pull it out a little bit more, and then we'll exchange one, and I'll notice that a little bit is pulled back in.
We've never acknowledged that that's what happens when we edit, but that is completely true.
Okay, I've got one of my favorites. And it came when we were interviewing Craig Enders.
Oh, yeah.
And there was kind of a running gag through the episode about Top Gun and what would your call sign be if you were in Top Gun.
We need to have Craig have a call sign.
I think I got to go with The Fly.
There you go. Wiener Boy, Not Sean, and The Fly.
So that's the setup for this one.
Today's episode has been sponsored by quantitatively relevant Top Gun movie quotes. Number 1, how you feel when you try to run a Monte Carlo simulation study of factor models with sparse discrete items using numerical integration on your laptop.
I feel the need for speed.
Number 2, how you fared on that grant submission as a brand new assistant professor.
Crashed and burned on the first one. It wasn't pretty.
Number 3, how you're feeling when all those projects you thought it'd be fun to say yes to all need you to do stuff for them in the same week.
Your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
And finally, number 4, how we hope Quantitude has made you feel about MANOVA and post hoc power analysis.
You've lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling.
So I'm giggling in part because I remember having such a fun episode with Craig. And if people didn't hear our episode with Craig, please go check that out. But the other thing I'm laughing about is that these started to get more involved, right? Like, hey, let's work in movie clips. Hey, let's work in celebrities. Hey, let's do entire skits. I mean, it's really trying to raise the stakes here on these.
The two things I loved were just that. These were clever and thoughtful and made me laugh out loud. But the second one is, I don't know how many hours you spent doing this. And keep in mind, Greg and I, contrary to popular belief, have day jobs. I bet you spent an entire evening just ripping those quotes.
Yeah, I think I didn't grade a whole stack of papers that night. All right, here we go.
Quantitude has been brought to you by the country of Norway. If even we can manage to be nice to Patrick, you can only imagine how nice we'll be to you. By software companies who only offer annual leases for their products. A business model that even 20 years ago would have led to our imprisonment for extortion. And by online portals for submitting manuscripts to a journal, making the successful submission of the paper the most difficult part of the entire research endeavor.
This one I remember every time I submit a manuscript because I'm there looking at the screen going, damn it, I thought I clicked that. What's wrong? Why won't it submit? So I laugh hearing your voice every time I try and submit something.
That one, I had tried to submit a paper like the day before, and so that was a fresh wound for me. But the Norway one, you need a little bit of context, is Dan Bauer and I a number of years ago had an amazing opportunity to work with a group in Norway. It's at a care facility and research facility called Modembod. We went and visited, we worked with them. They are the most dedicated, nicest, incredible people. It was one of the favorite trips I've ever taken. And they were so nice to me, like inexplicably nice to me. And so that was the genesis of the gag.
Excellent.
All right. You always save the best present for last. So here is my final one to you.
Today's episode has been sponsored by the fortune cookie game of adding in bed to the end of things to make them more interesting. Something statistics could definitely benefit from. So let's try it. Many senior researchers have been hit especially hard by a replication crisis. In bed. Researchers tend to prefer Satora-Bentler rescaled maximum likelihood statistics because of their robust performance. In bed. In a Bayesian analysis, using a strong prior can end up giving you a really tight posterior. In bed. In a DSEM, if the period of time is too small, things might not be able to be very dynamic. In bed. And finally, when screening for outliers, you're generally looking for extreme deviates. In bed.
Okay, folks, we had extensive conversations as to whether several of those were going to stay or not. And we figured, what are they going to do to us? And we just left them.
That's right. The two people didn't complain. So.
No, Andrea and Laura have a wonderful sense of humor. So we were fine.
And here's my best for last one. Well, I'll let it speak for itself. Here we go.
Quantitude has been brought to you by figuring out the new post-pandemic normal in academia. Case in point, today I had my first faculty meeting for the fall semester in which the meeting was via Zoom followed by an in-person reception. Okay. By a new organizing framework for structural equation models that subsumes SEM, ESEM, DSEM, BSEM, and MSEM into the maximally general WTF SEM. And by Twitter. proudly replacing 2 centuries of peer review with a link to a preprint.
All right, those hit hard. You were just on fire there. All 3 of them for me were winners. But anytime anybody says things like ESEM and BSEM and all of that, all I hear is WTF SEM, right? It covers absolutely everything. Anyway, that was a home run.
Well, thank you for your thoughtful gifts. I very much appreciate them. And here's a nice bottle of wine.
But seriously, thank you to everybody out there who's been with us through all of the silliness with a little bit of seriousness along the way.
And we're going to end with a final bit of silliness, but you won't have to listen to us talk anymore. Another part of the gag at the end, which only Andrea and Laura are aware of, is we will say, you have been listening to Quantitude. And then some tagline, of which we've made 183. Because we do one every single time. Now, granted, some are funnier than others, right? They don't all work. Yeah. But I last night poured a beer, and I went back and I plucked off a handful of these that I like, and we're going to go out on that.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. We so appreciate you squandering valuable time with us, and we hope you have a lovely end of the year and a happy new year.
Yep. See you all next year. Take care.
You have been listening to Quantitude, the podcast where good ideas go to die.
The podcast that even anti-vaxxers wish there was a vaccine for.
If you rearrange the letters, it spells academic midlife crisis. We were practicing extreme social distancing long before it became cool. The intellectual equivalent to a COVID testing healthcare professional cramming a 6-inch Q-tip up your 2-inch nostril.
We're like a mullet, reasonably well organized on the front end, but who knows what's going on by the time you get to the back end. The Wookiee planet for all you lonely Chewbacca's out there. The true crime podcast where the victim is an hour of your life.
The podcast equivalent to a restaurant people only go to when they are too drunk to drive and it's the only option within walking distance.
Trying to augment your stats classes? One long-winded, self-indulgent, questionably relatable anecdote at a time. We don't always throw another log on the fire, but when we do, it's a natural log.
Yet another indicator that tenure may have run its logical course as an institution.
The podcast where non-normal deviates feel right at home. The podcast that not even Fisher's Z-prime transformation could make normal.
You have been listening to Quantitude, the #1 ranked quantitative methods podcast at East Chapel Hill High School.
But I like 2 psychologists for beers.
Where we've told every story and every joke we know, so we're simply going to start over at the top of the list. The podcast equivalent to Southwest boarding number C58. Less of an oxymoron and more of just 2 morons.
The podcast equivalent of that weird second cousin who stays just a bit too long at holiday gatherings.
The podcast whose hosts put the ass in asymptotic behavior.
The podcast version of the gambler's fallacy. Listening hasn't paid off in so long, it just feels like it's due to pay off soon, right? The podcast where the teachers inspire you, which is to say they make you think, heck, if these asshats can do it. The official podcast of Formula One racing. If by Formula One you mean the formula B = X prime X inverse X prime Y.
The podcast that uses our voices without asking, but we're okay with it.
We are, because sometimes it kind of...
Yes, Dwayne, we are.
Okay, that's cool.
A podcast that you would do well to claim absolutely no knowledge of throughout the entirety of your job interview.
The podcast that rests on as few assumptions as possible, like the assumption of accuracy, or quality, or enjoyability.
Hi, Andrea Howard. Hi, Laura Havers. Holiday hugs to you and to the other 3 people who made it this far in the episode. See you next year.